So Madden's been out for a couple of days now, and if you feel like your performance is not where it should be, or you feel like you just been losing too many games, then this might be the video for you. In this video, I'm gonna be going over some settings and giving y'all some tips that took my game to the next level. Now, hopefully these tips and these settings help you too. Although Madden doesn't have a lot to offer when it comes to optimization for settings, the little bit of things that they do have when it comes to settings will help your game if you tweak them a little bit. Now, I've never been a guy who's too big on settings when it comes to video games, especially sports games like Madden, but lately I've been messing with my settings a little bit, and you'll be surprised at how much important it is to have the right kind of settings to optimize your game and performance. I guarantee you can learn at least one thing from watching this video, so make sure y'all stick around and stay tuned to the end, because I'm going to be giving y'all some more advice on what I think could help y'all take y'all game to the next level. So yeah, with that being said, let's get right into this video.
About 15 miles south of downtown Buffalo at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park. Coming up, we got a good...
Alright y'all, so let's take a look at these settings. When you first loaded up the game Madden, it probably gave you a message saying that it saved your settings from the last season, or the last Madden, Madden 25, but for me it wasn't the case. So I had to go in here and change everything back myself. The first thing I had to change up was the passing type, which I changed mine to placement and accuracy. I feel like this is the best one because it's all dependent on you. Everything else is alright too, but it's more dependent on the overall of the quarterback you're using. Me, I like to have full control of my game no matter what overall my player is. I want to feel like I'm in control of all my passes no matter what quarterback I'm using. And for me, the best setting for that is placement and accuracy. And that's because with placement and accuracy enables a timing element for perfect accuracy and bullet passes on top of visual targets to control the pass placement and power, which means basically you have full control. And with that, I use a reticle speed of 7 out of 20. 7 feels like the sweet spot. I feel like it's not too slow, it's not too fast, and I feel like I have more control of my placements when I use a 7 speed on my reticle speed. As far as the rest of these settings don't really help you out in the game. Defensive ball hawk and defensive heat seeker, you're going to want to make sure you have both of those turned on. That way when you're going for an interception or you're going for a tackle, it's like you have a little bit of aim assist. I don't know if y'all played a shooting game before, but that's how I can best explain these two settings right here. It's like having aim assist. It's going to steer you towards the ball when you're going towards the interception, and when you're going towards the tackle, it's going to steer you towards the tackler. Another setting that you're going to want to make sure that you have is a graphics setting. In the graphics settings, you're going to want to make sure your performance mode is changed to favor performance. What this is going to do is make sure your game has the most frame rate as possible, which is way better than having graphics. Frame rate over graphics is always better, especially if you're a competitive player. If you're a player who just cares about how beautiful the game looks, then yeah, you should just play with favorite visuals, but your performance might take a hit. Favorite performance, I feel like it's the best because it's going to make sure that the game is running as smooth as possible. And to me, personally, higher frame rate looks better than having higher visuals. And honestly, when I switched to favorite performance, I didn't see that much of a difference in the graphics, but I did see a change in my gameplay and a change in my performance because of that higher FPS. For those of y'all who don't know what FPS is basically frames per second, which is the amount of pictures that's being shot on your screen in 1 second. So if you think in terms of movies, this is how movies are made. Pictures is being shot on the screen to create motion. So if you have lower FPS, let's say 60 FPS, then that means 60 pictures is being shot on your screen at once to create motion, versus 120 FPS. That means 120 pictures is being shot on your screen to create motion. Who do you think is going to have a more smoother experience when playing the game? It's going to be the person that's playing on favorite performance because they have the higher FPS. Now, if you change your passing type to placement and accuracy, let me show you how much better it is. You see how much I can lead him down the field if I wanted to? I pretty much have control of the full reticle where I want to place the ball. So let me put Goddard on the streak real quick and show you how far I could lead him down the field if I wanted to. You see how much better that is? It feels like I have more control of where I want to place the ball, even when you're throwing passes down the sideline. I can throw the ball all the way out of bounds if I wanted to. With this setting being turned on, it feels like you're in control where you want to place the ball at all times. So that's why I recommend y'all turn that setting on. Now, after you finish doing everything I showed you in the previous steps, the next thing you want to do is go into your console settings. So if you play on Xbox or PlayStation, you're definitely going to want to do this. But if you're a PC player, which I doubt anybody watching this video is going to be a PC player, then you could skip this part. But as far as my console players, this part is important. I play on Xbox, so I'm going to show y'all what it looks like on Xbox. But if you play on PlayStation, I know there's a setting for this too, because I watched my homie do the same thing. So just make sure you do what I tell you in these steps, but do it on PlayStation if you play on PlayStation. So for Xbox, what you're going to want to do is go into your settings. Once you get to your settings, you're going to want to go to General, and you're going to want to go to TV and Display Options. Once you get there, you're going to want to make sure your display resolution is at 1080p. And your refresh rate is at 120 hertz. That 120 hertz is going to allow your game to push that 120 FPS to your screen to make sure you're getting the best visual performance as possible. So make sure y'all do that, and your game is going to be feeling a lot more smoother. Now for this last piece of advice I got for y'all, you're going to have to come out your pockets a little bit, but it is going to help your gameplay tremendously. This is probably one of the most important steps I'm going to give in this whole video. Now, in order for the visual performance effect to take place on your screen and all the advice and tips that I gave you in this video, the only way that it's going to be able to display on your screen is if you're playing on the right kind of screen. And that is not a TV. That is a gaming monitor. Most TVs don't have a refresh rate of 120 hertz or higher. So if you're playing on the TV, you're probably not going to be able to see your higher FPS in your gameplay, because you're playing on a display that doesn't allow you to get to the full 120 FPS. Which defeats the purpose of everything I told you in this video. So if you want to see that visual performance take effect onto your gameplay, you're going to have to go out and get you a gaming monitor. Most gaming monitors start at 75 hertz, but you're going to want to make sure you get one that says 120 hertz or higher. That's important, because if you're playing on the next gen console, the next gen consoles run at 120 hertz. You have the option to play on 120 hertz or 60 hertz, and you want to play on 120 hertz. That way you'll be getting 120 FPS in your gameplay. So make sure you go out and get you a monitor that has 120 hertz or higher, so that you could be playing your game at 120 frames per second. And it's going to make your game feel a lot faster, a lot smoother, and you're going to be getting a lot more wins because of it. Also, if you're playing on the TV, you're going to be at a big disadvantage because you're going to have a lot of input delay. TVs have more input delay than gaming monitors. Gaming monitors have a faster response time, so people who are playing on the monitor is just able to put in inputs into the game faster than you. And if you don't think that's a big deal, I promise you it is. If you're somebody who like to clip people and make big plays, then that response time and the milliseconds matter. That response time to the player input, to the ball carrier moves, the juke moves, and everything coming out faster is important. And you're going to be able to feel it when you're playing on a gaming monitor versus playing on the TV. You're going to be able to feel that you have more control of your inputs. The only reason you should be playing on the TV is if you're an on-the-couch player and you don't really care about playing competitively. If you're somebody that just only cares about how beautiful the game looks and visual display, then yeah, it's okay for somebody like you to play on the TV, because all you care about is the graphics. But if you're somebody who want to compete, you want to climb the ranks online, if you're playing on the TV, I promise you, you're playing at a huge disadvantage versus somebody that's playing on a gaming monitor. But if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate it. If you feel like you got a lot of information out of this video, go ahead and make sure y'all leave a like and subscribe. And here's a list of some gaming monitors that I recommend you get to take your game to the next level. I appreciate y'all for making it to the end of the video. I'll see y'all in the next video.